Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We are so glad to have you here. Today is Tuesday, October 24th, 2023. We are here for our Administrative Matters meeting for the Larimer County Board of County Commissioners in our hearing room at the West Oak Larimer County Administrative Services Building. I call this meeting to order, and I ask you to stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Again, thank you all for joining us for the Pledge of Allegiance, and welcome. I am Larimer County Commissioner Jody Shag-McNally, Chair of the Board of County Commissioners. I'm very glad to have you all here today and to be here for our meeting. Joining me at the dais is my colleagues, Larimer County Commissioner Kristen Stevens and Larimer County Commissioner John Gonfalez. Good morning, colleagues. And also helping us today with our meeting is our clerk to the board, Tessa Beatty. Thank you, Tessa. And we have our county manager, Lorenda Volker, here. Good morning, Lorenda. And we also have Sarah Martin from our commissioner's office, who does all kinds of things for us, but today she'll help us with public comment and with our schedules. Do we have anyone else from the public information? We're going to take some photos or later because we have some great people in the audience.
We will be taking some photos later, yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so with that, we will, again, good morning, everyone. We will open public comment. We have only one person signed up, but I'll open up to the room here in a second, but we'll go to the call-in. If Sarah, you wouldn't mind calling Mr. Sarner. Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Sarner. This is Larimer County Commissioner Jody Shag-McNally, Chair of the Board of County Commissioners. You have indicated you'd like to participate in public comment today. If you would please identify yourself, where you're from. You'd have 3 minutes for your public comment. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Larry Sarner here, formerly a 45-year resident of Loveland. And it's interesting that last time Commissioner Stevens said we might have a draw. But how about a win-win situation instead? To set your mill levy in December, it's a major source of your income, by the way. You must settle on your budget. Now, here's the situation. To settle your budget, you have to know your income. One needs a spreadsheet, given the complications, and I have constructed one, and I will be relying upon that. Commissioner Stevens said, presumably speaking for all of you, two contradictory things in the course of my weekly, now fortnightly commentary. One, that you have no intention of keeping the windfall part of the coming revenues, which means that property tax revenues, which means you are prepared to give it up in spite of your 1999 debrucing. But second, you have adopted a wait-and-see attitude to find out how Preparation HH can, in a fortnight from now, can leave you with your cake and eat it too. By preserving your excessive mill levy, then give homeowners an abatement equal to their share of the windfall, backfilling that abatement with some higher state taxes for everyone living and doing business in Larimer. Be honest, or at least straightforward about this. Do what the state constitution requires of you, contrary to your debrucing addiction. Return all of the $45 million windfall $38 million windfall to your taxpayers by cutting the county's mill levy by 4 mills. The numbers are already set in stone by Assessor Overbeck. Ignore Prep HH. It's irrelevant and won't be decided by Larimer voters anyway. Of course, this cut means the 1999 debrucing is thrown in the trash can where it belongs. If you have great plans for spending more taxpayer dollars than you will receive going forward, you will have to ask the taxpayers for permission. But what that really means is that you should trust yourself that you can develop great plans that people will readily pay
Mr.
for.
Sarner, I appreciate your
Isn't
public
that-
comment. You have reached our comment limit, so unless you have like a quick one sentence, we would like your comment time is over.
That's what I have.
Thank you, sir.
Isn't that the kind of government you want to be a representative?
Thank you for your public comments, sir. We appreciate your comments that you come every week, and thank you for being here today. Okay, I will now open it up to anyone in the room who would like to participate in public comment. Sarah, do we have anyone who emailed us or has indicated anyone else online to have public comment?
No.
Okay, thank you. I will now close public comment. Okay, so now we'll move on to approval of the minutes. Colleagues, did you have? Oh, Commissioner Steve, I'm sorry, but yes, we want to respond. I appreciate that. I just, I just thought since we've had ongoing conversations. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Sure.
Stevens.
I just didn't want to get the chance to refute a bit what Mr. Sarner said, since this seems to be our thing now. Just wanted to say that I don't think those are two contradictory things. We don't have an intention of keeping the windfall should Prop HH not pass. We are adopting a wait and see on Prop HH because it will affect our revenues. So, and that's why we've created sort of two budget scenarios. And I would invite Mr. Sarner and others to come to our October 28th, this Saturday. We're having a budget explanation kind of thing at Poudre Fire Authority on Remington, and I think it's from 11 to 12:30. So we can talk about these issues in more depth, but there again, I don't think that those two statements are contradictory, and yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I apologize for not giving us a chance to respond. Commissioner Kafalis, did you have comments, sir?
I don't have anything to add to what Kristen or Commissioner Stevens said.
Thank you, sir. I would just comment that I agree with Commissioner Stevens, and I kind of want to just address a couple of comments about being honest and being transparent. We have been completely forthcoming. Our budget is very transparent. It's on the website. We've had plenty of open meeting sessions, and we've had these extra last Saturday and this coming Saturday, we've had these budget opportunities for people to come and ask questions. We'd love to see everyone come, because I think it's a great opportunity for everyone to learn, especially when it comes to understanding how you'd like to vote on your ballot. We strive to be good stewards of public money. We have stated very clearly that we plan to, if HH doesn't pass, that we would look at probably the largest mill levy credit that Larimer County has ever seen if it does not pass. And so I just want to state that to probably infer that there's something underhanded going on, I think is absolutely, I push back on that. That is not how we do business here. So, but I do appreciate his public comment and to share his concerns. And I hope everyone will join us at the Poudre Fire Authority station on Remington this Saturday so they can learn more about our budget and how we do things. Also, you can go to larimer.org on the website, Budget Explorer. It's all there in detail and lots of great things to learn about your property taxes and your sales tax receipts and our capital projects. And it's all there for everyone to check out and to view. So thank you very much for that public comment. And now we'll move on for the minutes. Colleagues, do you have any concerns, questions, changes for? Okay. Commissioner Kafalis, I would welcome a motion to approve the minutes, please.
Yes, I move to approve the minutes for the week of October 9th, 2023.
Thank you so much for that motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. All right, on to our upcoming schedule. Sarah, thank you.
This is the Commissioner's schedule for October 30th to November 3rd, 2023. On Monday, October 20th, from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally will attend the Thompson School District / Loveland and Berthoud Liaison Meeting in the Devereaux Room at the Rialto Theater at 228 East 4th Street in Loveland. From 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual Counties and Commissioners Acting Together Transportation Committee Meeting 2024 Legislative Priorities Discussion. From 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., there will be a work session regarding general and public improvement districts in the Commissioners Conference Room on the second floor. From 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., there will be a work session with Leslie Ellis, Director of Community Planning, Infrastructure, and Resources in the Commissioners Conference Room on the second floor. On Tuesday, October 31st, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., there will be an Administrative Matters meeting in the hearing room on the first floor. From 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Stevens will attend a tour of Respite Care, Inc. at 6203 South LeMay Avenue in Fort Collins. On Wednesday, November 1st, from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the Virtual Extension Advisory Board meeting. From 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual House Bill 23-1101 Transportation Planning Regional Study Advisory Committee meeting. From 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., there will be a work session regarding the 2019-2023 Strategic Plan in the Commissioners Conference Room on the second floor. From 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual North I-25 Coalition meeting. On Thursday, November 2nd, from 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m., Commissioner Kafalis will host a community conversation for the Wellington and Waverly communities. Guest and topic will be announced prior to the meeting. The meeting will be held at 3803 West Cleveland Avenue in Wellington. From 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the service development plan for the proposed Front Range Passenger Rail District Intercity Passenger Rail Service at the Colorado River Community Room at 222 LaPorte Avenue in Fort Collins. From 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Stevens may attend the Disaster Policy Group exercise at the Larimer County Emergency Operations Center at 4872 Endeavor Drive in Johnstown. From 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may attend the North Front Range Metropolitan Planning Council meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it'll be at Loveland Public Works at 2525 West 1st Street in Loveland, or virtually. On Friday, November 3rd, from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may attend the Counties and Commissioners Acting Together Fall Retreat at the Adams County Human Services Center at 11860 North Pico Street in Westminster. From 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis will attend the State Board of Human Services. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it'll be at 1575 Sherman Street in Denver, or virtually via Zoom. From 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may attend the Regional Air Quality Council Board meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it'll be on the 4th floor boardroom at 1445 Market Street in Denver, or virtually via Zoom. And from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis may attend the Colorado State University One Health Day 2023, connecting air, land, and water at the Canvas Stadium at 751 West Pitkin Street in Fort Collins.
Thank you, Sarah. Colleagues, do you have any changes or comments? Commissioner Kafalis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone. Sarah, thanks. Regarding the Wellington Community Conversation, that'll be at the T-Bar Inn where we normally meet. I don't know what that address is. Is that the address of the T-Bar Inn?
Quite possibly, but I'll double check for you.
Yeah, it'll be at the T-Bar, and while we don't have the details, we will focus on transportation-related matters, transportation. And
Thank
the
you.
only other thing I would add is on Friday, November 3rd, I plan to attend the Larimer County 4-H Achievement Night, and that is from 6:30 to 8 at the ranch. And so I'll be at the CSU event from 4 to 6 and then travel to the ranch to engage with the 4-H kids.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And Commissioner, just so you know, I happen to have family that lives in Wellington. That is the address for the T-Bar Inn.
I'm sorry,
Or
what?
that is the address in Wellington for the T-Bar, just to,
I'd
but
like
have
to-
Sarah, sure, have
I
Sarah confirm
appreciate
it.
that. I'd like to reference the T-Bar Inn, please.
So Sarah, I just want to be clear, I'm just for the public and state publicly, just to make sure everyone knows I'm not holding my community conversation on the 4th. I see it's off, but I just want to publicly state it because I know some folks were looking. I am going to take a couple days off and see my son graduate from grad school. So I will just want to, for I know some people were looking forward to that meeting, but I'm going to do that. And so I don't have any other changes than that. So I look forward to our joint meeting with the town of Berthoud and Thompson School District in Loveland. So with that, we'll move on to our consent agenda. And so I just want to share with the public that I'm going to read through our consent agenda at a high level and a lot of details. If they're interested in more detailed information on our consent agenda, you can find that on our public website for the Board of County Commissioners. There you can see our agendas, things attached to the agendas, more details, emails, calendars, and all sorts of information. We are very transparent here, and folks can access a lot of that information there. And the consent agenda consists of items of no perceived controversy and routine administrative actions such as abatements, agreements, deeds, final plats, liquor license, resolutions, and other matters previously reviewed by the Board of County Commissioners, and staff recommends approval of the consent agenda. A commissioner may request that an item be pulled off the agenda and considered separately, and items pulled from the agenda will be considered after the board takes action on the remainder of the consent agenda. And so I will read through this very quickly. We have one abatement, a petition for abatement and refund of taxes. We have two agreements. We have one is a construction services agreement for engineering bid number B23-10, project number 8510 for Prairie Trails PID, the Bluffs PID, and Bonnell West PID overlay award number 2. And we also have a Ridgeway Meadows PID advisory board bylaws. We have appointments to several appointments for lots of boards and commissions. So first, we have a recommended appointment to the Agricultural Advisory Board of Ms. Graves and Ms. McDonough. We have a recommended appointment to Ag Advisory Board of three new folks. We have a recommended appointment to the Workforce Development Board. We have a recommended reappointments to the Club Estates General Improvement District. We have a recommended reappointment to the Cottonwood Public Shores Improvement District. We have a recommended appointment to the Saddleback Public Improvement District. We have a recommended reappointment to the Scenic Ranch Estes Estates Public Improvement District. We have a recommended reappointment to Terry Cove Public Improvement District. We have a recommended reappointment to the Red Feathers Lake Planning Advisory Committee and a recommended appointment to the Soldier Canyon Estates, Public Improvement District. So congratulations to all for their appointments and reappointments, and we thank you for your service on these important boards, advisory boards and commissions for the Board of County Commissioners. We have one deed of dedication from Mr. and Mrs. Rodriguez for the right-of-way on County Road 19 for PN 337, and this is a really important work as we're trying to work on that intersection for public safety. Then we have we have several miscellaneous items. We have first a legal action request for a new district court case regarding code compliance case number 23-CCC 0110. And this is the board authorizing legal action for the referred code code compliance case. We have a stipulation, three stipulations submitted for tax year 2023 value. I won't go into details on those. Those are all on websites. We have two policies. One is human resources policy and procedure 331-4M, Conditions of Employment Policy. And this is basically just some small updates to clean up the policy and make it consistent with current practices. And then we have a Human Resources Policy and Procedure 331-4-25D, Legal Compliance Policy. And this is just basically to clean up a little bit of a grammatical error on that. We have 5 resolutions. One is a resolution establishing compensation for District Attorney Level 3. And welcome to the team, Miss let's see, for this new Deputy District Attorney. We have a resolution establishing another compensation for Deputy District 3. Thank you again. Welcome to the team. And we have findings and resolutions denying the Barefoot Real Estate Investment LLC Administrative Special Review for short-term rental. We have a findings and resolutions approving the Howe Plan Land Division Plan Development Preliminary Plat and Appeals. And we have a resolution authorizing a 1-year extension of the Cameron Peak Fire Building Permit Fee Reduction Program for those folks impacted by the Cameron Peak Fire. So with that, colleagues, that is all that's on our consent agenda. Would you like to pull any of these items off the consent agenda? No. Okay, thank you. So Commissioner Stevens, I welcome a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Yes, Madam Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda for October 24th, 2023.
Thank you for that motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you very much. I don't have any guests. I don't think. Thank you, Amy. Any guests for myself? Anybody have brought guests today? Okay. Now we're going to our first discussion item, and I would love to invite Lori Cadrich to come up to the podium to present about our annual operating plan for Visit Estes Park, which needs to be adopted each year by the town trustees and the Board of County Commissioners. And we did have a joint meeting that was held on September 26, 2023, and the Board of County Commissioners, Town of Estes Park trustees, and Visit Estes Park Marquee District Board to review this 2024 operating plan. And that also this year includes a very special and exciting addition of the Workforce Housing and Child Care for Funding proposal. So I probably said what you were going to say, Lori, but please repeat it.
You
Thank
did say what I was going to say. Excuse me. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Lori Cadridge, and I'm the Assistant County Manager. And my role this morning is just to remind the Board of County Commissioners and the community that the board does have an oversight role for the funds that were related to the ballot measure 6E in the town of Estes. And that included in the packet today is a copy of the documents related to that funding proposal for the next year. And hopefully next year, rather than you holding a joint study session with the town will come with Kara and do the presentation together so that everything related to the marketing district is reviewed at the same time. But all the information is in your packet. If you do have any objections or questions or follow-up, please let us know. And Lorinda or myself will contact the town and follow up on that. And that is all I have for you today.
Thank you, Lori. Are we going to have Ms. Kara Franker come out?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, I
cool.
am not going to do that presentation.
Okay, so do we have any questions at this time for Lori? If not, we'll invite Kara Franker up from Visit Estes Park. Thank you, Kara, for being here today. It's so lovely to see you, and we just appreciate your partnership. So.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so wonderful to be here. Again, Kara Franker, CEO of Visit Estes Park. Like you mentioned, we had a great meeting, or I guess it was about a month ago, where we talked through our plans for 2024, and we addressed some of the things that we have really been concentrating on for the past 2 years, and then we hope to carry those goals forward. So with community stewardship being high on that list, not only making sure that we look at sustainability as one of our top priorities, we have a campaign called Do Estes Right, where we teach our visitors how to interact respectfully with not only our community, but with the lands and with animals and things like that. So we will continue that, as well as extending the season. So, Estes Park has come a long way since it was like kind of a 3-month resort town. And now we have a workforce that depends on us, and we have local residents that depend heavily on tourism to put food on the table. And so we see it as our job to make sure that we do things to extend the season, to help our businesses keep the workforce year round. And so some of the things that we've done that we talked about was bringing in special events like Frozen Dead Guy Days. So we will be doing that again. Our tickets will kick off, and that's St. Patrick's Day weekend of 2024. Those will go on sale probably in about a month. And then also we're doing a big push for the holiday holidays this year. And we invite everybody in Larimer County. We're going to be doing some advertising to push that. We want people to come up and see the lights and experience what all of our businesses have to offer. We're doing a special street stroll or a sweet stroll. It's a tongue twister, where if you have a punch card, you'll get one in Bond Park, and you can go to all the different ice cream shops and sweet shops and things like that. And then if you get 10 of them, you come back and you get like a little prize from Visit Estes Park for doing that. And then we've got like a Hallmark movie star coming in and some fun things. We have Santa. So we really encourage all of our local residents to do that. It was something that I thought was really great that came out of our discussion was when Commissioner Shattuck McNally talked about how do we make sure that Estes Park is still approachable for Larimer County residents. And it's hard in the high season when there are a lot of visitors. And this year we've had construction and always challenges to overcome. But we took that note to heart after that conversation. And so we do want to look for more ways where we can have maybe specials just for Larimer County residents. So if they come up and want to experience things, they will have a great time. I can't promise that there won't be crowds during the summer season, but at least we can do some things to show our appreciation for those residents. And then, continuing to make sure that we're data driven in our marketing and advertising efforts, as well as our public relations initiatives. And I did have a great announcement that came in the last month, and that is that we were on the Today Show twice in the last month. So one was the week that we met, and that was Best Fall Getaways, and so that was a national TV hit. And then again yesterday, we were on it was like a spooky segment, and so of course, none other than the Stanley Hotel, which is Stephen King's inspiration for The Shining. So really great national coverage. I will give you a heads up too. We'll be on CBS National News in a few weeks as well. So once I have the date for that, I'll give you that in advance, and I'm happy to send you any of these links. But basically, our operating plan, you have it in front of you. It's an 80-page document. It has the goals, strategies, and tactics of the ways that we will approach 2024 to be good stewards of our community, to do event sponsorships, to support our local businesses, and also our residents, and of course, to make sure tourists have a great time when they come visit. And that's basically in a nutshell. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Kara. And really excited. I'm glad you took that to heart. I'm up there like every week. I was up there Sunday and got another 10 miles of hiking in, but I was able to, the construction's challenging. I would remind everyone to kind of plan for that and be knowing there's a different traffic pattern completely, but you can still get through there pretty well. But I was up in Bear Lake corridor, 27 different states and license plates in that parking lot that morning. So that shows you just the reach, and it's all the way from Connecticut to California. And so it was really kind of exciting still to see tourists up there. And of course, I always have to stop by, Kind Coffee, Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory, grab some lunch. So it's just really, it's a way you just have to plan a little ahead to be a local, but certainly try to get up there as much as I can. And I've done my 100 miles, so 120 now.
Congrats.
So I'm excited. Yeah, so really excited. I really appreciate the partnership. Very thrilled about the destination stewardship focus and do Estes right. And I think that's a great mantra for all folks visiting all parts of Colorado. So thank you. Colleagues, do you have any comments or questions for Kara? Commissioner Stevens.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Kara. I appreciate it, and appreciate the good work that you do. Certainly getting a lot of, I don't know how unearned media or promotion that's not just stuff that you have to pay for, which is really nice.
Right.
And I don't know what your term is. It unearned media or something like that?
So it's earned media versus paid media.
Paid
you got
media.
it. Yep.
Okay.
Nice one.
All right. So one of the questions I had is maybe because a lot of this we end up discussing kind of in a group where not a lot of the public is around. Can you just talk a little bit about how data informs the plan? So I know you've been collecting a lot of data.
Absolutely.
And how is that kind of changing the way you do business or informing what you do?
Absolutely. Well, it's changed a lot so I've been in my position for 2.5 years. And when I came in, there was no data initiative at that time. I think there might have been in the past, but there was nothing. So we had to start from scratch. So we have several different initiatives that we do so that we analyze to optimize the marketing spend. So one of those is through the actual advertising we do. We do something called digital programmatic advertising. And that's when you see something on your phone and then you see it again, maybe because it kind of tracks you. That information we then get and we can optimize based on who we know our target markets are and we look for people that are going to spend more money in the destination, and that's how we decide to spend. So that's one way we do that. Another way is that we get, it's called Uber data from a company called Near, and so it tracks cell phone data. So we track it for all of Larimer County, actually, and it's public information. So if there's ever any time that you want to see for Loveland or anywhere else, we're happy to share that. But basically we drop these polygons on a map, and then we are able to track the cell phone data, which just makes us even more smarter, because it doesn't make sense to advertise to somebody in Thailand if they're not going to spend the money to come here. And so we have our traditional markets, so then we optimize the spend to go towards those markets. The other thing we do are in-person visitor intercept surveys. So we've completed 3 for the year, and we have 1 more that'll happen during the holidays. And that's when somebody with the clipboard stops you when you're walking down Elkhorn Avenue, and they ask you a few questions and they talk about their experience. And so we're pulling all of that data together now too, and that's good because that's a little bit more free. It's less just the numbers. And so we like to figure out what are people doing when they're in town? What are ways that we could do better? Do they have the resources that they need? But are they hearing and seeing our ads online and then also in print? And so that just helps us to make better decisions. And then for 2024, we're going above and beyond that with artificial intelligence. Now that scares some people half to death. AI is a crazy, new technology, but there's a way to optimize that going forward, where if we are using an AI, a custom white label AI, which we have one that we're beta testing, and we're using that to interact with people, it's almost like a travel agent. And so there's a human component too. So as the conversations are happening, then a human, so somebody on my staff, can go in and also add, oh, by the way, there's a great concert happening at the Stanley this weekend, if that's when you book. And then the AI is smart enough that it'll tell you if you're going to book flights, here's the quickest way, here's the cheapest way, here's the other way. So that's in beta testing right now. So as we look at 2024, it's really just how do we use data at our fingertips in a way that makes us smarter and makes those taxpayer dollars go farther. Sorry, that was a long answer.
No, that was long, but I mean, it is a complicated, but it's effective, like you said, because there's only so many dollars that are available to you, and you want to use them in the most efficient way to be able to bring people into the community, which makes money for the county and Estes Park area. So, no, that's great, and I appreciate that because I think that's really important to have that. To go for those targeted markets. It's probably why we see a lot of Texas license plates.
So many people from Texas, Iowa, Kansas.
That's right. Just as long as we can get past them up the canyon.
Right.
And everybody laughs because everybody's been behind those cars. But we're happy to have those tourist dollars. I don't want to be too critical. So thank you for explaining that, because I think it's really important that we're capturing that data and really, kind of funneling it into the best methods of attracting visitors. So thank you. I'm satisfied, happy to support this plan, and I'll let my colleagues talk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Stevens. Commissioner Koufalis.
Thank you. Thanks, Kara. A couple of comments and a couple of questions. One, first of all, I think we've made tremendous progress in terms of the relationship between the county and Visit Estes Park and the town of Estes Park. And I think a lot of that is due to your leadership since coming on board as the executive director. So I greatly appreciate that. I wonder if you would you briefly provide a little bit more context and details about the relationship between the county and Visit Estes Park, in particular how the way the process unfolds to get us to this place. So we have an annual report that provides, I think the most recent one is from 2022, and how that informs the operating plan for the subsequent year. And also, if you could provide a little bit more context regarding the revenue source for workforce housing and child care needs up in the Estes Valley, because I don't know if everyone is aware of what the voters approved and how that's helping to provide additional resources to address that need. So overall, the relationship, the context, how one document informs the other to get us to this place to approve the operating plan, and also the the revenue stream for housing and childcare.
Absolutely. So the relationship is codified in an IGA, an intergovernmental agreement. And so Visit Estes Park has a board of directors. There are 7. Some are appointed by the county, some are appointed by the town. And so then in our joint meeting that we do every year, both the town of Estes Park trustees and the county commissioners come together with staff and we present our operating plan. Now, what's interesting is the annual report isn't codified, but if you don't know how we performed last year, how do you know if our plan is any good? And so we added that in. We came in, we presented our annual report, and then what we did in our operating plan for this year is we link out to those. So when we set the specific KPIs for our community relations team and our sales team, our marketing team, and then also administrative, you can click back and see, okay, did they meet it last year or not? And then the goal is to set that precedent. So every year, there's really that transparency and that accountability. You don't have to go searching or just like go from what you know. We're having the annual report that we will produce for you. So the 2023, we should get that produced in Q1 of 2024. And that way you'll have that. And there's always a way for the community to look and see, okay, are they really doing what they say they're going to be doing? Are they accurately portraying that in their operating plan? So that's that piece. And then as far as the workforce housing and child care revenue stream. So it used to be that there was a 2% lodging tax, and that was only paid by visitors or anybody who stays the night in a hotel or lodging establishment. And then that 2% goes to the Department of Revenue of the state of Colorado, which then gets cut back to Visit Estes Park as public taxpayer funds. And then we're responsible for a budget that gets audited every single year, and we execute that out. Now, what happened last year is that as the state of Colorado legislature broke open that marketing statute that we operate under, they made it so that some of those funds can be used for workforce housing and childcare. So then what we did is we Visit Estes Park. So with the blessing of the town and the county, and we had a ton of meetings and all of the things that happened to get to that point, went ahead and executed a district-wide, because it's bigger than the town, smaller than the county, election. And we asked voters if they would approve a 3.5 percentage point increase to the 2%. So now that is at the 5.5%, and that's a lodging tax. So anytime anybody stays in a lodging entity, and then so that still goes the same route. So it still goes to somebody pays it, goes to the Department of Revenue, cuts back to us. And then what we do is we take every month that extra 3.5 percentage point minus the 10% marketing that's required in the statute, and we give that to the town of Estes Park, and then they go ahead and execute their plans for workforce housing and childcare. So it's really unique in the state of Colorado. Nobody had a ballot initiative that was in that method. We are unique also because we're a statutory district, and so our requirements are different. But that is the complicated piece of it in this, like the tiniest nutshell I can give you.
No, that is an adequate nutshell. Thank you very much.
Yes.
I'm wondering, going back to the data-informed decision-making, I think one of the things that's really interesting is the percentage of people that visit the Estes Valley that stay in more traditional hotels and lodging and all of that, and the percentage that stays at short-term rentals, because there's an interesting dynamic in the Estes Valley regarding those entities. So that's really important. So thank you very much, and thanks for your work. And yes, I'm very supportive of approving the operating plan as well as the workforce housing and child care funding plan. What's the dollar amount that's projected for 2024? Is it 4-point-something million?
It's around there. I can get the exact number.
It's in the document.
Yes.
It's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all.
4.75
Thank you.
million. So, Kara, I want to just say, I'm been very impressed since you came on board and we had our first meeting. You have executed some amazing programs and got us data driven and got us, like you said, targeted marketing, and just really shifted kind of their approach so that it's effective. And also, I love this Do Estes Right campaign and this destination stewardship and the responsible tourism. And I think it's just amazing, the work that's been done in some of the videos. And I really hope the visitors pay attention and listen. I now exact a price for when it stops me when I'm hiking in Rocky, but want me to take a photo. I actually offer to take photos too, because then I say, well, I have a price and it's something to ask of you. If you will please stay on trail and leave no trace and be a responsible tourist. And so they all went, oh, sure. Tell me about that. So I've been kind of taking a little longer hikes because I've been taking the opportunity to educate folks, and usually they're very excited to hear that we kind of focus on that, and it's been really fun to kind of engage that. So, and fortunately, it adds a little more time to my hikes, but then I feel like I'm doing my part. So, yeah. So I got snowed on Sunday at the top, so it was kind of fun to have that. I wanted to say also, I was really proud of and participate in that stakeholder group as we worked on that lodging tax. I think we're one of the first in the state to do that. Correct?
That's correct.
And just that engagement and the stakeholder and the conversations and the work that you did, and Lorenda and Travis, just outstanding. I was talking about it with a state senator this morning on the phone, talking about how we got that done. He was very interested because he's touring today and looking some of the things. He's from Denver, but he's touring all the things that we're doing up here for housing and workforce housing. And he was very interested in what you're doing, and was almost wishing he had more time to kind of check it out. So, but he's kind of focusing on Fort Collins today. But I wanted to just say, just thank you. I appreciate the detail and just kind of the overall presentation of the plan, and your team is just engaging, fun. I've run into them all kinds of events, whether it's Estes Stanley Manor Home or other events. They're just constantly everywhere and promoting all things. So Estes, and we just appreciate the partnership. So I would definitely wholeheartedly support this, and look forward to more events. I would love all those links, and also interested in the holiday stuff. I had some people asking me about that Hallmark star, and I'm like, what Hallmark star? So it'll be interesting to see what you have in store. And of course, I just near and dear to my heart going up there my entire life. So I'm very excited to see the good stewardship happening. So, so with that, we will move on. Lorenda, did you have anything you wanted to add? Because you've been very instrumental in working behind the scenes with this plan and with other things with the lodging tax. I didn't know if you wanted to add anything.
I guess I just want to say that not all marketing districts are as transparent as Kara has made this marketing district. Visit Estes Park is really now an asset to the community. I think people see the value. We certainly do as you expand the season. I know the businesses appreciate that. Thank you for your transparency and for the work you do for the community. It benefits us all, and you're really good at it.
Oh, thank you.
I would agree. So with that, I'll ask Commissioner Kafalis to make that motion, please.
Yes. I move to approve the 2024 Visit Estes Park operating plan.
Thank you for that motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Kara, thank you for being here today. It's great to see you.
Thank you so much.
See you soon. All right. Exciting stuff. We have all kinds of fun stuff to celebrate today. I will now invite Jessica Plummer from our Behavioral Health Services Department, and we are here to celebrate and formally recognize UC Health Northern Colorado Foundation as a recipient of the 2023 Gary A. Darling Award issued by our Impact Fund Grant Program. And we thank the voters of Larimer County and the residents for supporting that program with their sales tax dollars and improving that initiative. And it is going to a lot of great work. And I just want to say it was great to see Gary Darling a few weeks ago, and this award is named after him, and he served in the sheriff's office for over 30 years, and he was, before going to work for the County Criminal Justice Division, and so he brought all these organizations, and this behavioral health program kind of stands on the foundation and shoulders of his work and early initial work. And this is a very prestigious award. I just want to name that, let the public know the reason we're calling this out and doing this special award, because this is what we have deemed a very, very prestigious award, and I'm very excited to have this room full of folks and to take this moment to honor this grant award. So thank you for being here, and I'll let you proceed. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for that great summary. My name is Jessica Plummer, and I'm the Program Manager for Larimer County's Behavioral Health Services Department, and I oversee our Impact Fund Grant Program. Each year, as part of that grant program, and as you stated, it was approved by the Board of County Commissioners in September, we nominate and award one standout program that applied under our targeted project area, Alternatives and Interventions in Criminal Justice, with the Gary A. Darling Award distinction. This honorary award highlights the critical work
being done in our community to improve the intersection between behavioral health and criminal justice. This year, we have nominated the UC Health Northern Colorado Foundation for their co-responder program. The co-responder program pairs law enforcement officers with behavioral health specialists in an effort to decrease involvement in the criminal justice system for people suffering from mental health or substance abuse issues. One of the amazing things about this program is that it brings together multiple agencies across the community, including Fort Collins Police Services and the Colorado State University Police Department. This collaboration with law enforcement allows UC Health behavioral health clinicians to jointly respond to mental health crisis intervention and stabilization calls, and ultimately create a bridge between the criminal justice system and the healthcare system. With me today to speak a little bit more about the program in a little more detail is Andrea Leinenfelter, the behavioral health manager at UC Health. We also have a whole team of folks here representing the co-responders and the law enforcement. So if you want to come up.
Hi, so my name is Andrea Linnefelter, and I'm the Behavioral Health Manager with UC Health. I am lucky enough to stand here today with our co-response team. We have our mix of behavioral health clinicians, which are all master's level trained clinicians who are pairing with our law enforcement officers with Fort Collins Police Services. And we are very lucky to have partnered with the UC Health Northern Colorado Foundation to assist with some of our funding efforts to keep our program going. I will keep it short and sweet. This program does wonders for our community. Not only is it, fulfilling UC Health's mission to improve lives by interacting with individuals who are experiencing these behavioral health crises, however, they are also impacted the relationships with community partners. This team alone has improved relationships with hospitals and our community partnership there, with different resources within our community, and really bringing everybody together to support those who live here in our community. And it's wonderful to be a part of and a really great group to get to know. So.
Thank you very much. And thank you all for being here today. As maybe people don't know, I'm a big fan of co-responder programs and been doing a lot of work to try to support that and hopefully keep expanding. And I think we're kind of a model here in Larimer County with our different programs and the folks that are involved. So thank you for your work. So Jessica, do you have some other things you'd like to share? We have the award.
Yeah, I just want to say we also have a plaque. Hopefully we
Cool.
can take a pause and
Thank you for bringing that. I think we'll go ahead and make a couple of comments, and then
Yep.
we will pose and take a photo with you all, and just appreciate you being here today. So first I'll open it up to my colleagues to if they have questions or comments. So we'll start with Commissioner Kafalis.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, colleagues. Just expression of gratitude once again for the good work that's being done, the collaborative work. I had the honor and privilege to do a UC Health ambulance ride along on Friday for 6 hours, and I was with, I guess, a friend now, paramedic, and then an EMT who at one point during the afternoon called me up, one of the partners, so I felt pretty good about that. But I bring that up because, while we had about 3 calls where we went out, nothing overly serious, I suppose, but yet I was, behavioral health is a key component to all these visits that folks do, because there's often trauma associated with these visits and so forth. But I was so mightily impressed of the kinds of questions that these folks were asking, the folks who were trying to help, and the genuine care that they had. It really moved me. And I could tell that while they're not, quote, mental health professionals, they've received some level of training in psychology in these aspects, because it was very evident from the way they were asking questions of people to engage them, to make it clear that we were listening to them and their concerns as they were being transported. A 90-year-old individual being transported to the hospital to PVH. So I just wanted to share that, and I think that's just another example of how we're doing a really good job, I think, of serving the public, and certainly the co-responder program is critical, especially when you're dealing with acute situations, mental health care crises. So thank you all very much. Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Kafalis. Commissioner Stevens.
Yeah, I just also want to express my gratitude. I don't think I have any questions. We've talked about these programs a lot and how important they are in the community. So really grateful for those of you who do this work, and for both, the sheriff's office for being open to that, and all our police forces to be open to that. And then for the clinicians who work alongside that. This is a way to sort of right size the response that we have towards certain situations. And I just appreciate that we're looking at this kind of work in a different way. And so I think that that's so important for us to acknowledge that, not everybody, sometimes people have behavioral health challenges that are so overwhelming that that, that they act out in the community in a way that can be harmful to themselves and others. But acknowledging that and dealing with it in a way that's appropriate, I think it distinguishes our community as someone who really cares about taking care of folks, and not just, maybe taking someone to jail or kind of using inappropriate force. So kudos to all of you who really do what's really tough work. I can't even imagine that, how hard the work is that you do, but it's so important, and it's so right to treat people well, and to try to figure out their problems instead of, just reacting in a way that's, I don't know how to say it exactly, but just that's not appropriate. And I think that there's communities that aren't doing this well, and I just applaud you for being part of the solution and trying to figure out these really difficult cases. So, good job.
Thank you. I'm going to quote Disney here. We'll see if anyone knows the movie later. But they always say a hero isn't measured by the size of their strength, but the strength of their heart. And I would say with our co-responder program, the hearts of our first responders, our law enforcement, and our trained clinicians, the strength of your heart and the size of your hearts is huge. And I just want to thank you for your care and commitment to our community, especially for our residents and visitors who are in the middle of a crisis, but maybe just can't even see the light of hope, or just kind of, focused in that moment of crisis. And I just think that the work that you do is so immeasurable, and we just appreciate all the work that you do. And I'm really glad that you received this award and this grant, and we're very excited to honor you today with this prestigious Gary A. Darling Award. It means a lot to us here at Larimer County and the work that Gary Darling did, and we're just really grateful for the work you do, and know that a lot of the Policy Council and some of the BB Council, I know the Board of County Commissioners, were really big fans and supporters. And I don't know if you all knew, but we read a proclamation in September for the first ever proclamation for co-responders in the state, and I think the second in the country. And so if you ever want to have a copy of that, we could maybe get you a copy. But it just shows our commitment and our support of this amazing program and the work that you do. So, and yeah, if you don't know the movie, it's Hercules. So my kids loved Hercules, and I always think about that little quote. So, because a lot of our heroes in our community have the biggest hearts of all, I think. So with that, Lorinda, have anything else you'd like to add? I know you've been big fan and supporter of these things too.
No, I have, and I think this is so fitting. Gary Darling spent the bulk of his career in the sheriff's office in law enforcement, sometime in the jail, sometime in patrol, and he realized that traditional methods for dealing with people who were in crisis didn't always work. And so this award is really fitting. It's sort of taking this one step further out into the community outside of incarceration, so that you're dealing with people where they are in a way that's most beneficial. It's a perfect award to be recognized for the Gary A. Darling Award. Thank you for your work you do. I think you would love that you all were selected this year.
Thank you. And so with that, we will take a pause for those watching online, and we want to honor these fine folks with this award and with a plaque, and take a photo op, and please give us a moment while we pause and do this time to honor these wonderful folks. Thank you. welcome back, and thank you all for giving us a moment to celebrate the wonderful program through the UC Health Northern Colorado Foundation, which is the recipient of the Gary A. Darling Award for 2023. And this award and grant will go for supporting the co-responder program through UC Health and Fort Collins Police Department. Great program, great people. Now we'll move on to another exciting and great thing we get to honor today is recognition of the Chief Deputy District Attorney Amanda Duhan and Lindsay, hope I got that right. Yay! Matt Moss, Deputy District Attorney 3. They both, Amanda Duhan was selected as the Prosecutor of the Year by the Robert R. Gallagher Award by the Colorado District Attorney's Council, and Ms. Moss was selected as the Prosecutor of the Year by the Colorado Drug Investigators Association. Both extremely prestigious awards, and very excited. I think it's out of 800 attorneys, prosecutors that you were selected. So I'm going to invite, are you doing this, District Attorney Gordon McLaughlin? Okay, thank you. Please come up forward to welcome. Really glad to have Gordon McLaughlin, our District Attorney, to come up and honor some wonderful folks in his office. Welcome.
Thank you for having us here this morning. Yeah, I'm very proud to present to the Commission the awards that these folks have received. They're both terrific attorneys in our office, and these awards are very well deserving. To tell you a little bit about why they both won these awards, Chief Deputy District Attorney Amanda Duhan is currently our Chief of County Court. She is a leader and mentor there of our new attorneys that are prosecuting misdemeanors and really developing the next generation of prosecutors in our office. But she has had a leadership role in a lot of really big initiatives that we've had at the District Attorney's Office over the last year, including things that I know the commissioners are familiar with, like our competency court docket. Chief Deputy Duhan was our lead at the DA's office in the collaboration with other county departments, other stakeholders, and that competency docket that has been a huge success and really turned into a national model for how to deal with some of these really complex behavioral health issues within the criminal justice system and solve some of these statewide backlogs at the local level, and really sort of focus on safety and focus on fair and compassionate treatment of some of these folks. And so Amanda was a leader on that. Her expertise in the competency nexus with criminal justice has put her on a bunch of statewide groups, including the Legislative Committee for the Treatment of Persons with Behavioral Health Disorders, where she's trying to make a broader impact statewide on how we deal with these issues. She also led the launch of our adult diversion program and the subsequent expansion of that program over the last couple of years. That has really enabled us to offer a much wider array of opportunities to folks with low-level crimes in the criminal justice system, promoting things, rehabilitation, restorative justice, and other alternatives to incarceration. That program has been very successful. And right before she became Chief of County Court, she was actually the Chief of our SVU unit, our Sexual Violence Unit, where she led our team of prosecutors that are really tackling some of the most difficult and impactful cases in our community when victims have been sexually assaulted. And Chief Deputy Duhan personally led the prosecution of some of the most high-profile cases in our SVU unit over the last year. Her recognition from the Colorado District Attorney's Council, which is the professional organization that represents all 22 judicial districts in Colorado, was a real recognition of sort of what modern prosecution can look like, that we can do both of those things at the same time. We can really fight for victims on the most serious cases, like in that SVU unit, as well as develop new, modern, compassionate programming to divert people out of the criminal justice system and connect them to resources. And that those things do not have to be mutually exclusive, and that is what we want to promote in our prosecutors here in 2023. Commissioner Shattuck McNally was correct. There's over 800, close to 900 state prosecutors that are represented by CDAC. And so Chief Deputy Duhan won that award amongst those 900 people. So very prestigious. Only one person wins a year, and we're very proud. And that was presented at our annual conference in September. The very same week, the Colorado Drug Investigators Association had their annual conference. That is the professional and training organization that represents law enforcement drug investigators across the state of Colorado. and incorporates our Northern Colorado Drug Task Force that Deputy Moss works very closely with. The Commission is, of course, familiar with her work because she is the ARPA grant-funded position that the board approved. Her title is the Complex Case Prosecutor. She handles a couple different pots of cases, but one of the really important ones is her prosecution of fentanyl-causing death cases. As the Commission may remember, that law passed just a couple months after the board approved that grant-funded position, and so has really taken up a good chunk of her time because she is involved in collaborating with our law enforcement agencies, all the local agencies, as well as their Northern Colorado Drug Task Force, Coroner's Office, and others, and really creating the model for investigation of these cases from scratch. She has led that effort and has been really successful. We are currently prosecuting 3 of those fentanyl-causing death cases here in Larimer County. There's been a plea on one, and that's awaiting sentencing, and that's really leading the state in these efforts. Other counties, other jurisdictions are looking to us in terms of how we've been able to have that success in those cases. Certainly the criminal justice system is really just one part in addressing the fentanyl epidemic, which is incredibly complex and needs resources from all sorts of sectors, but prosecution of the worst actors, those that are killing members of our community with fentanyl, the large-scale dealers that are preying on victims in our community, is really impactful from that community safety standpoint, but it's also impactful from a victim standpoint. These are victims, families of victims who used to not get justice because there was no law to prove these cases, there was no investigative resources to make these cases prosecutable. And so they had family members killed, and they did not have accountability. And so Deputy Moss has really led the way in being able to achieve that. And it's a long effort because, as you all know, a case takes a long time to wind its way through the criminal justice system. And so really the culmination of well over a year, probably a year and a half of hard work on those investigations is just coming to fruition, and we expect a lot more of that. So with that, I extend my huge congratulations to both Chief Deputy Duhan and Deputy Moss, and I think they might have a couple quick words to say. I always find it interesting that even though these are both people who are trial attorneys, anytime I bring my attorneys out of the courtroom, they become shy all of a sudden, but I think I'm going to force them to say a few things.
Thank you, District Attorney Gordon McLaughlin, and welcome. We were excited to congratulate you and celebrate you today, but please, thank you for being here.
I just wanted to say that I'm incredibly honored to have been recognized by my colleagues at the Colorado District Attorney's Council, especially for my work on the competency court, which is something that I'm very passionate about. And I also wanted to thank the board for their continual support of that program. It's making an impact in our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'll likely echo a lot of what Chief Deputy Duhan said, and that I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the Colorado Drug Investigators Association, as well as my local partners here in Larimer County who have worked so hard over the last couple of years to hold fentanyl dealers and fentanyl distribution in our communities accountable for all of the harm that they are causing. I'd also really sincerely like to thank the Board of County Commissioners for the ARPA grant funding that has made my position possible over the last 2 years. The strides that we have taken in the investigation and prosecution of major cases has only been possible because of that grant funding and the position that it made available in our office. So thank you so much. I do believe that this work also makes our community better and best serves the people in this county who are otherwise unseen by the criminal justice system. Thank you.
Thank you both for those marvelous words, and we'll now open it up for my colleagues to ask any questions or make comments. We'll start with Commissioner Stevens.
Yeah, I don't particularly have any questions. I don't think you're here to be questioned necessarily as much as we really want to celebrate you. I'm sure you're used to it. Okay, I appreciate that. Really just want to congratulate both of you on your outstanding work. To be noticed by your peers and others across the state is remarkable. So we really thank you. And, I think, Gordon, thank you for, our District Attorney McLaughlin, for using titles. Thank you for sort of explaining that, that tension that sometimes people feel between, prosecuting someone in the right way, but also getting them into diversion programs, because I think that's, we want we want people to come to justice that have done wrong, and yet, that looks different in different scenarios. And so I just thank you for having the courage to, kind of explain to people that these are often nuanced situations, and it's not one size fits all for everyone who's committed a crime. And so, dealing with people in different ways that are appropriate is really important. We just talked about the folks. I mean, it was kind of a good tee up for recognizing the co-responders, because that's in a similar vein of, how do we get people the help that they need, make them accountable for the crimes they committed, do justice by the victims. And I think we can do all of those things. They're not mutually exclusive. So I appreciate Chief Deputy Duhan for doing that work, because I think that's so important. And then with regard to Deputy Moss, I want to say that way to prove that those ARPA dollars were well spent. She's like, I'm just gonna go out and get an award and prove that we really need this position. So, but remarkable work, really. I mean, those deaths are they affect families. They're they're clearly complex, and that's why we need a special person to be able to do that. Clearly, you're the right person. I'm really glad that we were able to fund it. I mean, we did the funding part, which is the easy part. You have to do the hard work, which is bringing these cases to justice. But certainly for the families that are affected by fentanyl and drug overdoses, really holding the people accountable that are poisoning our community, honestly. And so really great work, and just thank you both. And then obviously our district attorney, Gordon McLaughlin, I mean, your leadership in picking people that are, I mean, clearly like award-winning, attorneys it shows that you have great leadership in your role, that you've done a great job of finding the right people to do the work in our community that needs to be done. So I really appreciate that as well. So that is all I have. Thank you both. Thank you, all three of you, for being here.
Thank you, Commissioner Stevens. Commissioner Kafalis.
Well, just to say thank you to the three of you, the team. I would echo the comments from Kristen. I don't think I need to repeat them, but I want to square them. So thank you for your work. I would actually welcome an opportunity to observe competency court in action. If there's a way we can figure out an appropriate way to observe the work that you all do, I'd welcome that opportunity. So maybe our scheduling folks could figure that out in the next couple of months or something.
Yeah, I know they've had a lot of observers because it is such a new and unique program.
I would like to
Chief Deputy Duhan's actually no longer the person in charge of it. I forced her to rotate out, even though she's very passionate about that program. But we'll get you connected to something else that can set up a time for sure.
That would be nice. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you. I would echo. I think I did watch that last year, the year before, and I saw one of the coordinators saw me across the street at lunch and said, "You're coming to watch again, right?" It's like the third Thursday, or
Every Thursday morning.
every Thursday morning. See, he said I could just come by and sit back, so I might just do that. So thank you. Well, first, I just want to say just a heartfelt congratulations, and congratulations to you all, and congratulations especially to you two for just outstanding work and well-deserved recognition. I wanted to kind of quote District Attorney McLaughlin with his words, because I thought they were just spot on, and I don't think I could say it any better. But you had said in presenting the award to Chief Deputy Duhan that she was an exciting example of what it meant to be a prosecutor, a leader, and public servant in the modern world of criminal justice. And she demonstrates an unwavering dedication to victims, the community, and her colleagues, and her thoughtful approach to criminal justice serves to inspire a new generation of prosecutors. And so, yeah, I really agree with you. She's truly deserving of this recognition. And I have been paying attention since I came and observed that competency court, because as you can tell, behavioral health and some of these areas are very heartfelt and purposeful areas, passion areas for me. And I just have to say your approach has been transformational and very important for our community, but really a model for our region, if not the country. And I just think this is so well deserved, and just so proud and just thankful that you are here in our county working for our system, and just wanted to let you know I just couldn't be more proud and excited that you received this award. Congratulations, especially with all those. That's a lot of attorneys to think about the work that they do for our communities. A lot of hardworking, dedicated folks who work hard for victims and for the system, and trying to find ways to, appropriately help folks maybe have some recidivism, some recovery, or some help trying to, give back to the harm they've done. So I just really appreciate it. And we have folks that with the competency court that are getting the care and kind of the having the appropriate maybe intervention that they need. So just really excited. So Chief Deputy, congratulations. Thank you. And to Deputy Moss, I'm so excited. Remember we had that presentation and you come and talk to us about the complexity, and way to go to well use that money, but also to lead the state and with Deputy Attorney McLaughlin's leadership on these complex cases for these fentanyl deaths. Especially when it is so complex, it sometimes feels a little bit, well, how are we going to tackle this? And you've tackled not one, but three. And I think we have the first kind of sentencing or resolution for the whole state of any case. Is that correct? So, I mean, that's huge. I mean, that's just something we can be proud of, that we're kind of showing that this can be done and hold these people accountable. For several years, I sit on the Opioid Abatement Council, and I've gotten to go to some state and also sit at the national conference and listening to even a North Carolina commissioner who lost his son to fentanyl, and just watching this older man cry on the panel, and just the heartbreak from him, and then talking to the gentleman, you probably know who I'm talking about, who lost 2 children to fentanyl. And his grief has just chosen to make a difference. And I just can't imagine the strength of his heart and his spirit to continue on and fight this fight. So we are lucky that we've only had, 6 in this area in Larimer County of fentanyl deaths, but other counties have had just like 30. It's just, I just some numbers I'd heard, but maybe more, but I heard some numbers over the weekend, and I thought, well, that's some of the work that we're doing, but one death is too long. But just to go after and prosecute these, especially when it's a new system, a new way to prosecute this, I just wanted to say tremendous work, really proud of all of that, and grateful for someone to tackle coming on and tackling these big issues and doing it so well and getting this recognition. Profound gratitude and congratulations, well deserved. And certainly, I know you made impressions with some of the Larimer 101 and I think it's your advocacy, your outreach to folks. I've had them call me and say, you need to do whatever you can to keep this person and keep that position open. So you make an impression with the public too, that they are calling me personally and saying, you need to focus and make sure this position continues. So I just wanted to say thank you for helping the public understand how important this position is as well. So I don't know if those numbers are correct. I got that from the health department. So just curious, because we were talking about this we have our opioid abatement meeting this week, and we were having some conversations. So
yeah, I mean, the number is certainly a lot higher than that. I mean,
is it?
Ms. Moss would know the number more closely than I would. The delta between the number of deaths and the number of prosecutable cases is really big. We don't, of course, have more deaths in Larimer County per capita than anywhere else. We have more prosecuted cases because, again, Ms. Moss and the Drug Task Force and others have put so much work into it. But they are incredibly, incredibly difficult to sort of prove that causal link between who that dealer was and the resulting death. I don't know if you have any idea what the number is in the last year.
The last that I remember, and we spoke about it earlier in the fall, was that we were somewhere in the high 30s, I believe, in terms of overdoses here in Larimer County.
It must be the 30, because I had 6 and 30, so it must be the 30. So maybe we're just talking about so that some of our numbers were starting to show that our work is paying off. So I'll have to go back and talk to that person that gave me those numbers and find and read. But it sounded, what I had heard from these other experts is that we're making a difference.
I think it is down from last year quite a bit.
Yeah. So I think I guess my point was the work that we're doing and that you're all doing is making a dent. And one death is too much, and any death is too much. But that, just know that I'm getting calls from people who are recognizing members of the public that probably never even heard of such a thing, and now they're calling me saying, "Hey, this is important work that both of this department's doing." So I just want to say thank you and congratulations. Very exciting work. And to Gordon McLaughlin, our district attorney. This doesn't happen on its own. Your leadership and supporting these two wonderful prosecutors and the work that they do, and your leadership in setting these programs and advocating for the funding and all the things you do to have these the victim services and all these other things that you're doing. It takes a lot of leadership and focus and commitment. And I just want to thank you for your leadership, and also to the work that you do to support these wonderful folks is important. So thank you for the work that you do and how you have shown some great leadership. You do, and you continue to show great leadership. Thank you for that. So I will now ask Lorenda if she has some comments about these two amazing women who are here with these awards.
You know, so much has been said. I'll just say that peer and colleague recognition is some of the best recognition you can get. Those are the folks who work with you every day, who appreciate what you do, who see the difference you make. So congratulations on that. That's huge. We're proud of you every day. We take for granted how wonderful you are and the work you do for the community. It's nice to see you recognized outside of the organization. And Gordon, thank you for bringing the folks here to be recognized in this public way. I think we should do more of this kind of celebration. We have fabulous staff here at the county. You certainly do in the district attorney's office. And these two are shining examples of that. So congratulations.
Thank you all so much.
So we'd love to take a moment and celebrate you both, if that would be okay with you.
Absolutely.
So for members, and everyone's welcome to join us, all the 10 members you brought, they're all welcome to come. And we'll take a brief moment to pause and take a photo. And again, congratulations to you both. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for your patience as we took a moment to celebrate the outstanding awards given to Chief Deputy District Attorney Manu Duhan and Deputy Lindsay Maas for Prosecutor of the Year for the Colorado District Attorney's Council, and for Prosecutor of the Year by Colorado Drug Enforcement Investigators Association. Really prestigious awards, and congratulations to them both. And so those are all the discussion items that we have. So now we'll turn it over to the county manager's update. Thank you, Lorinda.
Sure, thank you. So we spent quite a bit of time the last couple of weeks working on the strategic plan, closing out the current plan, deciding how best to celebrate those closeouts, and then planning for our strategic plan that will be effective in January. So lots of those internal meetings happening. We met with department heads most recently to take the information we received from the Leadership Summit, from a brief employee survey, to come up with some potential objectives that we will now fine tune. So thank you for your assistance with that. I also do a lot of external coordination. So I met with town manager Patty Garcia from Wellington. I met with the Chamber of Commerce Executive Director for Fort Collins, Ann Hutchinson. And then Josh Fudge and I had the opportunity to speak at the Treasurer and Public Trustees Conference on budgeting and Proposition HH and how that interplays between boards of county commissioners and county treasurers and public trustees. And so that was a really good experience to sort of get out and talk about it with others and see how they're dealing with things as well. I met with Coroner Stephen Hanks. He and I meet regularly, and he has some great ideas for his office and is moving forward with those for next year. And then an announcement, Mark Johnston was appointed the interim Economic and Workforce Development Director in early 2023, I think late January, after a recruitment that did not produce a director. But he has recently gone through another recruitment and has been selected. October 19th is his first day. We can take interim off his title. Mark Johnston is the Economic and Workforce Development Director for Larimer County, and we're really pleased about that leadership position. Last Saturday, we all met at the fire station in Loveland, and we talked about budget matters, and that was, I think, a really informative meeting. We have another one. You all have talked about it earlier, but the details are Saturday, October 28th, 11 a.m. to 12:30 at Poudre Fire Station. I guess it's the Poudre Fire Authority. It's their administrative office at 102 Remington Street. You can find that on our website, but we really do encourage you to come ask questions about the county's budget. We have kind of an explanation of how property taxes work, and so that has been, I think, pretty helpful to folks in the community. And that is all. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you, Lorinda. Colleagues, do you have any questions for Lorinda? Commissioner Kafalis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Lorinda. When do we expect to have the community survey ready to be sent out to the community?
As I understand, those will be mailed out the first week of November. There will also be a link online, so the statistically accurate survey will go out by mail, and then there'll be sort of an informal version of the survey online so that we can have real-time results to be able to incorporate into our strategic plan. So there'll be two efforts, the same questions, one formal, one informal.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner, for your questions. So we'll move on now to our county commissioner reports, activity reports, and we'll start with Commissioner Stevens.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll be brief. I was out of the week, or out of the office for part of the week last week, but I did want to just thank the Larry Fullenkamp, from the acting deputy district ranger, for the Forest Service for taking me up the Buckhorn Canyon to look at the ranger stations and some of the work that they're doing, the historical renovation work that they're doing. These were cabins that were built in the 1940s, 30s, and 40s under the Roosevelt administration, some work with WPA, and so they are historic buildings, and they're trying to restore them as well as they can, and getting some money from both the federal government, but also have been applying for grants, including the Colorado History Grant, to be able to restore these cabins and make sure that people can rent them out, and potentially we could use them for meetings up there when we need to. And so they're doing remarkable work. So are some of the volunteers that have been up there helping to do work on these cabins. The caretakers that kind of spend summers there and refinish floors and do things like that. So I think ultimately it's going to be a great space for our community to learn about the history of the Buckhorn and the Dickerson sisters who lived there for many years and homesteaded, some of the last homesteaders in that area who have remarkable artwork and ran a sawmill by themselves. And so their story will be told in conjunction with the renovation of these buildings. So just a great and we were able to look kind of at some of the situations of Buckhorn Creek and some of the work that's been done by our road and bridge people who have resurfaced the road in a remarkable way, and some of the work that's being done by natural resources to maintain habitats up there, and with our partners in the that are doing restoration work for the waterways there. So there's a lot of work being done in the Buckhorn, and just thank you for the people who are doing that work and for the patience of the residents who live up there who've dealt with some pretty difficult situations. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Stevens. Commissioner Kafalis.
Thank you. Would like to share, just to go back 2 Saturdays, October 15th. One of the events on that afternoon was the City of Fort Collins sponsored Hispanic Heritage Month celebration at Gardens on Spring Creek. It was a festival, and I was there for a little bit, for an hour or so, and it's just a great event. A lot of good music, a lot of good community building, and various vendors. Evie, the library, was there, the mobile library. So I think it's important to acknowledge that. I picked up this little brochure if anybody would like to see it, but it's entitled Latinx Hispanic History in Fort Collins. It's kind of interesting. And then later that day, I actually attended a lamb roast up actually on the Phantom Canyon Ranch. My old friend Carl Judson and his family. And it was, again, another nice community building experience with rural neighbors, rural residents, ranching folks. And I actually ate a little bit of lamb, which was a big thing for me since I've not had meat for a long time, but it was good. And finally, on that day, Saturday, October 15th, I do believe it's worth mentioning, I attended a fundraiser at Bath Nursery, and it's called Bounty and Beer. It's the 10th annual one, which I was made aware of from one of our LaPorte Planning Advisory Committee members. But it was a fundraiser for a farm called Sproutin' Up, which is a CSA farm, and it's located at the end of Hickory Street, right there by Hickory Village Mobile Home Park. And it's something that folks should be aware of. They do a lot of work with the kids who live in Hickory Village Mobile Home Park, as well as Poudre Valley Mobile Home Park. They focus on education and careers. They focus on social emotional learning, on healthy living, youth empowerment, and I'm gonna put out the website for the thousands of people that are listening. It's sproutenup.com, and it seems like a really wonderful endeavor. So I'm glad I participated in that. The rest of the week, some of the things were both Commissioners Shattuck McNally and I attended the TAC 212 event where the CSU football players were present, and that was fun to play. I guess it's called air hockey, and it was even more fun when they turned it on and things actually slid around a lot better. I attended the CASA, Court Appointed Special Advocates for Children Appreciation Social at Odell Brewing. A big shout out to Jen Ryan and her team for all the important work they did. Both Jody and I attended the CSU Spur Campus in Denver on Tuesday, and that was really interesting. A lot of amazing work is happening there in the areas of food systems, water, land stewardship, agriculture, and things of that nature. Then on Wednesday, I suppose, I attended a portion of the Department of Natural Resources all-staff meeting, and that was the time when the Associate Professor, Dr. Doreen E. Martinez, who is an indigenous epistemologist, and she spoke about having a deeper relationship with the land, and that was also very interesting. Um, yes, and I'm almost done here. I think well, we had our joint meeting with the Board of Health, the three commissioners, and it was a great update on the CHIP, the Comprehensive Health Improvement Plan, and a good discussion of ideas and suggestions and questions. And then, of course, we had our Budget Matters meeting in Johnstown last Saturday. Good discussion there. Wish there were more folks, but that's okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner, and thank you all both for the work that you do. I will share a few things. I know on the 10th we had kind of said we would pause and share later what we had been up to. So I wanted to come just share a couple of things to thank our partners, but also to let you know aware of some things I learned the last week or so that I wanted to make sure you're aware of. On Wednesday, October 11th, I was invited to join with Sunrise Community Health Center and United Way of Larimer County and the Boys and Girls Club of Larimer County as we toured a little bit of the Loveland campus update. As you know, we gave money for that purchase, but now they're raising money and doing some renovation of that space. And Teaching Tree is going to be moving in there. And I know we're all of us are very invested in childcare, increasing access to childcare. And Teaching Tree is a fine example of how we can do that. And I wanted to share with you that as I learned that day, the spots will go from 50 to 200 on that campus that's available in Larimer and Loveland will go from 50 up to 200. And I think that's significant. I wanted to share that with you both. I also toured, and I want to thank Mr. Morgan and Morgan Timber Products. I went and toured their location in LaPorte, and it's very exciting. They are really a zero waste yard, and they're doing a lot of work up in our Cameron Peak burn scar. They were that day I was there taking some of the burn lodgepole down and converting it into usable products. So kind of a zero waste opportunity, and I want to just thank them for their partnerships with our county and the Larimer County Conservation District and others. Just really important small business here in our community. And thank them for their time. Great family, and 4-H family too. It's a very, very strong 4-H family. Very excited for their partnership. And then I attended the, thank you, Chris LeMay and Department of Local Affairs. They held a small communities workshop at our emergency Office of Emergency Management. Thank you to Lori Hodges and Cole Parrott and all the folks that participated. We also had sponsorship from Colorado Counties Incorporated, which is we're a member of, and it was great to connect with them and have conversations. I ran into some of our friends and colleagues and Wellington Town Trustee Ashley and all of them, just really grateful for the opportunity to connect with them all. And it was a great conference, as I understand. We had several people there. And I want to thank Lori Cadrich and Leslie Ellis, especially Lori Cadrich presented on our water master plan, and she did a phenomenal job. And our staff did a great job supporting that effort. And I want to say thank you. It's great to see us lifting up other communities and partnering and doing what we can to share things with them and learn from them as well. We had a chance to do our LICOG meetings and our Office on Aging meetings, and the Department of Health came and presented to Office on Aging Advisory Council along with the Health District, and they did a phenomenal job. That presentation's online, and I just wanted to point that out because they did a really good job presenting to the Office on Aging. And I think Dr. Tony Van Gore and the folks from the Health District who came to that meeting, I really thought it was well done. We also, Commissioner Kafalis and I think you were there, Commissioner. I don't know if we ran into each other, but the business appreciation from the city of Fort Collins. And the reason point this out is they had it was really a neat structure where they had some small businesses, especially small businesses by those owned of people of color, and I had a panel and asked them some questions, and I found it really unique and engaging. So it wasn't just networking, but it was networking and then this panel and these conversations, and then we all got to walk out with a little plant from one of the local businesses. And I just really found it informative and a really great format. I just want to thank City of Fort Collins for the way they presented that and inviting us, and just appreciated that opportunity to participate. It was really well done, and great for our partnership for them, because when our small businesses thrive, we all thrive. And then I just wanted to thank, I instead of meeting for my usual meeting with staff for CPERS, we went on a hike and talked policy up in Estes, a certain area, and that was really a great time, a great conversation, and I want to thank staff for the willingness to do, then sitting down inside the meeting and just kind of hanging out. We actually did and looked at things, and we were looking at fire mitigation projects, so it was really something that kind of fills my bucket. And then again, as Commissioner Cavalls shared, I'm not trying to repeat, but I did enjoy the Latin and Hispanic Heritage Month celebration at the Gardens on Spring Creek. It was great to see all the resources there. We ran into a lot of community partners. The dancing, the music, the food. Thank you to Claudia and Achilles and all of them. Just a great celebration, and very excited to be invited and be able to attend that morning. It was very enjoyable. And then on the 15th, I brought you all something. As you know, we had a big change out at the ranch, and it was the 20th anniversary of the ranch, and we had the ribbon cutting. I brought you both some swag or some anniversary gear. I figured both of you would like to have some gear that was really well done. I want to thank our partners at OVG and the ranch staff, Connor McGrath and Katie Buttermore. Really a fun day. I was there for several hours, and I brought home a ribbon cutting for the new Blue Arena. We sat with Ryan Bach and the leadership and board from the Blue Arena, and want to thank the president and CEO. Just some marvelous words talking about how we're all together in tapestry and interwoven. I think Stephanie, drawing blank on her name, I so apologize, but it has the date on it. It says Blue Arena, so I brought this for us to have in our display case. And yes, they're heavy, and I've been out in my car hoping someone's not thinking I'm carrying around a weapon, but they're pretty sharp scissors, and grateful to be a part of that. They handed out some cheers to 20 years. It was a great open house for the public. You could go out on the ice and shoot in the pucks, and I got a Colorado Eagles Blue Arena puck and scored a couple of goals. That was a lot of fun. I did not fall on the ice, which was a win for me. We had the strongman Brian Shaw, a lot of partners that came and celebrated, and there was petting zoo outside, and a lot of vendors and people there. The public could have free drinks, and it was just a lot of fun and a great job by everyone. Appreciate the opportunity to celebrate with the ranch and our 20th anniversary, and very excited for the new naming of the Blue Arena. Also, we unveiled a heart out there. I stayed for the heart unveiling with the heart program through the Loveland Chamber of Commerce. Pat Saunders White is the artist, and it's about connectedness, and that's kind of overlapping our theme as you hear us talking about how we want people to feel belonging, connectedness. That's what the heart theme is about, and great Loveland artist, and congratulations and thank you to her for her brilliant work. It's a beautiful piece of art, and it's on our main campus. You can see that out there, and I agree with her words that our Larimer County Ranch Complex and the event center is connecting people in so many different ways, and sights and sounds and activities. And so I just think it's really aligns with some of the work and things that we're talking about. And again, kudos to staff, phenomenal work, and just really appreciate all that they've done. It was been a very, very busy week. I agree with you, Commissioner. The TAC, the Teen Activity Center, thanks to Lori Kill for the invitation, the students and the CSU players that came and the staff that supported them. It was really fun to see that center being utilized and full and buzzing and all the work that they're doing there. And I appreciate the invitation and being able to enjoy that. And I did enjoy our tour of the CSU Spur. Great to see our colleague in Douglas County, Commissioner Laura Thomas, that she came up. It was a great tour. Loved seeing the thank you to Carrie Rollins and Carrie Weiner and Dan from the CSU down there to tour that. And we the greenhouses and some of the work, and then there was a video about Kids Pack in the lobby, and so thank you to Kids Pack from Loveland as they feed our food insecure students in Thompson School District. But it talked about the partnership with CSU because they produce the meat sticks from Three Rivers cattle, and they provide that, and then there's protein in the bags that go home, and it's really a nice video there inside the Spur campus. You can watch it in the entrance of the water building. I think I forgot the name of it, but it's exciting to see connections to Loveland and to Larimer County inside that building. And then we toured other buildings, and we got to watch a live surgery of a poor Malamute dog that was having some major surgery, and you can watch that in the Horse Rehabilitation Center. And it was just really exciting, and I appreciate the opportunity to tour and talk about our connections and how we all work together. And then we came back that evening, and Commissioner Kafalis and I were very excited to sign the Eagles proclamation celebrating our 20 years together as the Blue Arena, formerly known as the Budweiser Event Center, I called it the Eagles Nest. They've been nesting there, a great partnership for 20 years. I don't think they've missed a playoffs yet. And they also, I believe, had over 4 million fans come through in the last 20 years. And that's quite a great partnership and great thing for our community. And so I wanted to highlight that as well. And thank you to our partners at Colorado Eagles and OVG, and again, our amazing staff on the ranch, because that all comes together and very exciting. Not to go on long, there's just so much stuff that's happened. Appreciate the all-staff meeting, and thank you to DNR for inviting me to give the opening comments. I want to just say it's great to see them all work together and celebrate each other and welcome the new staff members. And to, again, thank you and congratulations on their Blue Grama Award, which was presented that morning, that they've gotten for restorative work and ecological work they've done for biodiversity in our spaces, and that's a prestigious award, so congratulations to them again. And just love connecting with them and celebrating the work that they do. Then we went and I took a quick tour of the Amazon facility and the progress out in Loveland, and that was great to connect with Sam Bailey and them. I appreciate being able to see the inside of this over 3 million square foot facility. And you can learn more online about that. And the Water Symposium, Commissioners Stevens helped kind of open that, but that was something that floats my boat as well, as talking about watersheds and forest health, and it was a really great presentation. And I want to thank the Water Center and all those partners for helping us put on that symposium. It's just really important work. As I went up to Estes Park for the Estes Park meeting and had a community conversation, I had a lot of new faces, and a lot of these were working families who are expecting their first child up in Estes Park, but they're going to have to come to have their babies down in Estes or in Loveland or in Longmont. So I was really glad to have new faces, especially younger working families, and hear from them and their concerns, and certainly a lot of changes up there, and I appreciate them coming to our meeting. And then I'm thankful for the Board of Health for their candor and talking about their community health improvement plan and how we can partner there, and just the opportunity to sit down and have a great conversation with them. It's welcomed, and I appreciate their service on that board, and it was just really exciting. We did the landfill tour. We had our Forest Health Council meeting. We had a presentation from the Gates Family Foundation regarding woody biomass and cross-laminate timber and the work that's doing here. We're in the middle of a hotbed kind of area of innovation and work. And if you are interested in that meeting, it's recorded on the Colorado Forest Health Council. And our meetings are always open and transparent. And my colleagues, if you have questions, I'd be more than happy to share with you about that work. And thank you to Dwayne Penny and Lori Cadrich for the landfill tour. I loved meeting with Linda Hammett and the hazardous waste area. I think I think it would be hard to say this is not one of the best in the state, if not the region, of hazardous waste work, and keep that out of the landfill. And as I understand, we reuse 30% of what we collect. And I personally, as a resident of Larimer County, we drop off a lot of our old paint and hazardous materials. And I think it's just really important to celebrate that and thank everyone for their work. And let's see, anything else? I just, there's a lot going on, and just really grateful to the work that we do together, and just thank you for listening. I wanted to make sure that you had gotten a chance. Oh, and one more thing. Thank you to the ASCSU partnership. Last night, we all three went to their continuing series of Year of Democracy on CSU campus. We had state legislators from Denver and other commissioners from other counties, and we all participated in this discussion with students. It was well done. Thank you to Dr. Martin Carcason and his team for the Center of Public Deliberation for facilitating the conversations. We had folks from our own state legislatures and our Fort Collins City Council, and I thought it was a great turnout and a great conversation, and I want to just commend them for the work they did to organize that last night. So with that, that's all I have to share. We have no legal matters today and no other conversations. So at 10:47, we are adjourned. Thank you.